Hello, listeners. Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, Dr. Lesley and Corrie. Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality. And we broadcast on CIVL, which is a terrestrial radio station. And that broadcasts on 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation. But we also live stream on our Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group and on my YouTube channel, where you can participate in the chat room. And we love it when that happens because we get some really fantastic questions from our listeners and some fantastic comments and sharing of their experiences as well.
Yes, it's lovely and wonderful and fun and all that stuff.
So tonight's topic is life's problems getting you down, and are you stuck along your life path? And that's a topic suggested by Corrie. And I think that perhaps what stimulated it is that, you know, when we first did the show, we used to open up to any and all questions from our listeners. And we got lots of questions about career choices, relationships, health difficulties, and life purpose. And we haven't had an open topic like that for a while. So it seems like a good time to delve into that.
Yeah, so, everybody has issues in the world. I don't think there's anybody listening tonight that doesn't face some sort of a challenge on a regular basis. I mean, just look at our health issues today in today's society with COVID. I mean, that in itself can be a challenge and a half. So I thought it'd be a good time to do some stuff and show people how to move forward in their lives when they're hit some form of a roadblock that's causing them grief or anxiety, frustration.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about that. What to do when life's problems are getting us down? Because, you know, what most people do when life's problems are getting them down is perhaps they go into fear. Perhaps they worry a lot. Perhaps they get very, very stressed out and are easily triggered emotionally. You know, their mind is just racing and crazy and worrying about all of these things. And so those are the ways that our human selves sometimes react and respond to challenges in our lives. And from my experience, the very best way to deal with that is not from a physical perspective, but from a spiritual perspective. So how do you do that? How do you approach your life's challenges and your life's problems from a spiritual perspective? Well, number one, you need to understand the difference between your ego level of consciousness and your true inner being or your true higher being, your pure consciousness. And most humans don't know the difference. And most humans are operating from the body levels, from the ego and the body consciousness levels. Through meditation and through energy techniques, you can learn the difference. You can learn who you are, the high vibration spiritual consciousness, and what belongs to your body. And so there's a fantastic meditation. I often mention it on the show because it's available free on my website, and it will teach you the beginnings of this process of starting to inhabit your body, you, the pure spiritual consciousness, and hold the reins and take charge of your reality. The first of those techniques is called grounding. And I'm actually going to do a short grounding meditation to demonstrate what this is about. Because really the only way that you can understand these energy techniques is experientially, not intellectually. So the first thing is grounding, and the second one is centering. And these will help you to be consciously in charge of your reality, and it will help you deal with all of those problems that I just talked about, the racing mind, the triggered emotions, and so on. So a short grounding meditation, and like I said, you can download a slightly longer one from my website, and I'm sure Corey will put the link in.
Already done, Dr. Lesley.
For everybody who wants to do this, and if you are driving, perhaps don't, at least the first time. But so I want to invite you to sit with your feet flat on the floor, your hands resting in your lap. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And a long, slow, deep breath in. And out. And actually the breath can be very calming. And it can help you to really pull your attention into the present moment. So continue with those long, slow, deep breaths. And notice that your body is the one doing the breathing. And if you bring your conscious awareness to your body, which is doing the breathing, you will also bring your focus into the present moment. And being in the present moment is an excellent way to deal with life's challenges, because often what's causing us the worry is something that we're projecting that might happen in the future, or something that we can't change that happened in the past. So being in the present moment brings you into that narrow gate of consciousness of reality, where all that exists is right here, right now. So breathe deeply and use the breath to bring you into the present moment. And also be aware of an energy center that exists near the base of your spine. This energy center contains your information about physical reality, about being alive in a physical body, in a physical world. So take a moment to just tune in and be aware of that energy center. And then we're going to do the grounding technique. And all you need to do is to create a flow of energy that goes from this area near the base of your spine to the center of the earth. And you can imagine it like a waterfall or a laser beam or a rope or even a tree trunk. But the idea is that you're creating a flow of energy that flows through the chair that you are sitting in, through the floor of the room, through all the levels of the building that you're in, through the foundations of the building, and through all the layers of the Earth's crust, all the layers of the planet, until it reaches the very, very center of the Earth. And if you're doing this along with me, what you've done is you have created a grounding cord. This grounding cord helps anchor you, the high vibration spiritual consciousness, into your body and connects you to the planet. So most people are not in their bodies. This technique helps bring you into your body and into your reality. And it's actually step one of getting in charge of your life. Now, apart from helping you come into your body, it gives you a way to release unwanted things, unwanted energies. So if you have a big challenge in your life right now, be aware of that challenge. And what you're going to do is, with your conscious awareness, direct that problem, everything surrounding and to do with that problem or issue. Send it down this grounding cord, send it down this flow of energy all the way to the center of the Earth, where that energy can be recycled, repurposed, and let go of from your system. So anything that the ego churns up, that the body churns up, that is disturbing to you, can be eliminated consciously from your system by using this technique of grounding. A second technique, which is in that meditation that you can access from the website, is centering. And this is where, from the grounded place that you're now in, you focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head, in the center of your brain. It's in the center of your sixth chakra. It's where your pineal gland is. It's one of the seats of the soul within the human body. It's where you, the high vibration spiritual consciousness, can sit and be present within your body, within your reality. But it has some magic that it does. One of the things is that it will allow you to be the neutral, non-judgmental observer of your reality. You can become the witness of all of the things that are going on in your life without being drawn into the drama, without being pulled into the whirlwind of emotions, and without your monkey mind, your worrying mind, taking over. These two techniques, grounding and centering, give you the answer, actually, to dealing with life's challenges and dealing with life's problems. Because you can have a neutral spiritual perspective. You can see what's now coming from the ego, what's coming from the emotions, what's coming from the mind. And none of those things are you. But you are the consciousness that's creating this body. You are the consciousness that's creating this life. And you're meant to be in charge of it. So these techniques put you in charge of it. And you can use the release of energy down your grounding to let go of absolutely anything that is not benefiting you, that is causing you a problem. So I'll just invite all of you that are still meditating to just release a bit more energy down your grounding cord and take a couple more deep breaths in and out. And then you can open your eyes and come back into the room. Now, I teach those techniques in all my courses. I teach them in my Unlock Your Intuition course, which, amongst other things, is a course where we are learning how to deal with life's challenges, how to operate consciously as spirit through the physical system. And the same techniques that you can use for stress relief, that you can use to cope with life's challenges, are the very same ancient mysteries that actually enable you to activate your psychic abilities. So to activate and use your psychic abilities, you have to be in charge of your reality. Grounding and centering helps you to do that. So, listeners, I hope you enjoyed that meditation, and I hope you enjoyed that demonstration and got some benefit from a couple of energy techniques that can help you when life's problems are getting you down, and that can help you if you are feeling stuck, right? Because you can just simply release the stuckness down your grounding, okay? So whatever challenge you're having, whether it's to do with your career, to do with your relationships, to do with your health, to do with all of these things that are going on in the world right now, if you're grounded and you're centered, then you're able to cope with whatever shows up.
I agree. I don't think it's as much how we cope with something in a way. Well, it is how we cope with something, but we all get the same, most of us get the same challenges in our lives. It's how we deal with the challenges, right? We shall continue. I'd like to continue that comment after our break.
Sure. Yes, you can deal with your life challenges from a disempowered position or an empowered position. And I just gave you the secret to dealing with them from an empowered position. We will be back after these messages. Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and Corey. Tonight's episode is entitled Life's Problems Getting You Down? Are you stuck along your life path? Are you looking for answers? I don't know what to do with my life, help. I'm just reading from what Corey wrote there. I think the title is I don't know what to do with my life, help.
Help. No, you know, again, what drove me to that topic was we all have these challenges. And I watch people, especially with you, Dr. Lesley, I watch you take challenges and just they don't affect you, and they drive me berserk. Then I notice you're faced with challenge that doesn't bother me at all, and you have a bit of an issue with it. It's just we all have the challenges, we all react, and then we're all individuals and we react to them differently, but there's a commonality to handling these challenges in our lives, and meditation is a great one. It's one of the good ones, I think, and there are other ones as well. You know, even the counting to 10 is something that gives you an immediate response to an immediate challenge. I think it's interesting, but being in the present, I think, is key, because when we run into a challenge, it's not the challenge itself that's the issue. In essence, it's the outcome of the challenge. What that challenge is going to cause in effect to us, the effect that it has.
Well, how a challenge affects you is actually completely down to you.
Exactly.
And so, you know, if you have a challenge and you are allow your mind to grip a hold of that challenge, you know, maybe you analyze it to death. Maybe you get stuck in your analyzer trying to make a decision about what to do. Maybe you project your mind into the future and imagine all these terrible outcomes that might happen. Or maybe you ruminate over something that led to it happening, wondering what you could have done to stop it. All of those things are mind created thought forms. And it's not you, the spiritual being, that's doing any of that, it's your body. And so bodies will do that if spirit doesn't take charge. But if you ground and center, like we showed you at the beginning of the show, you can take the reins of that crazy horse of your mind and you can stabilize it. If you bring yourself into the present moment, then you can stop projecting into the future or the past. You can just be right here, right now, where there is no problem. Or there certainly isn't the problem in the way that you are amplifying it when you are allowing your mind to deal with it in that way.
Yeah,
same thing with your emotions can get out of control, can't they? Sometimes we can get hysterical at a problem or a challenge. We can get panicked. We can get highly anxious. Again, that is the body's reaction. But if you, the spirit, can come in and take charge, then you can see what is an appropriate action or non-action to do in the moment. And you can also work with the energy of the body to calm the body down.
I remember I've said this on the show once before. I think I had an experience years and years ago when I was working for someone, and it was Friday night, and just before I was getting ready to leave, the director of the marketing department comes by and says, "I need to have a meeting with you Monday morning, first thing," like in a really strict and heavy, hard tone, and that would send me into, what did I do wrong? I said, what's the issue? She says, we'll talk about it Monday. Just like, and so what did I do? I went home, and all weekend I just it drove myself absolutely berserk with this issue. I mean, it was really bothering me. And then Monday morning came in. I went at 8 o'clock, went to the boardroom where we were supposed to have our meeting, and the director didn't show up. And so I went to her office and I said, what about her? Oh, don't worry about it. I took care of it. Like, the whole weekend I suffered. I lost 2.5 days of my own time worrying about something that apparently wasn't an issue, wasn't even worth discussing. And you don't want to, we don't want to put our lives on hold for something that that has really no ground to hold us. We have so much of these things happen every day. Even driving in traffic, you have a problem, you're running, you have to get somewhere, and there's some guy in front of you slowing you down, and doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it. Relax, take it easy, enjoy it, go into a driving meditation. Right, Dr. Lesley?
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
I mean, you know, at the beginning when we did that meditation, I said, if you're driving, don't do this.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you to close your eyes. But actually, when you practice these techniques, you can be grounded while you're driving, while you're walking, while you're in a meeting. You can use these techniques to diffuse any and all situations, actually. Well, do you think it's a good time to ask our listeners if they have any life
Sure.
challenges that they would like to
Yeah. We have some questions.
Sure.
I just want to bring one more technique up that's a really good technique in square breathing. Square breathing is another meditation that brings you into the present. And that's just, for a count of 4, breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then wait again for a count of 4 to breathe in. What it does is it focuses you on your breathing, and that's something you can do anywhere without anybody even knowing about it. And another one is if you're in a panic situation, and you can't get out of it, like if you got into total anxiety mode, having a panic attack, take a deep breath and hold it and don't let it out. No matter how hard he wants to let it, don't let it out. And then when you can't hold it, let it out. And then don't take another breath in. Hold for as long as you can. And that will give your body the trigger that is, oh no, I'm about to die. I can't breathe. And what happens is you focus into being in the present time, and that issue sort of dissipates. That's a quick one.
I believe it changes the brain chemistry and the chemistry of the stress response, actually.
Exactly. It's a very strong psychological psychology tool that when you're working in neuropsychology, you're working with people who have problems with stress and anxiety. But yeah, so we're open to questions now, and we've got a few. And the first one is Najiri. Najiri sent us a little note. Najiri says, "Fun fact: I had a dream last night where there was a party in my honor to celebrate my growth and achievements. Corey, you brought me a sheet cake with blue icing and said it was on behalf of you both. Thank you for the confirmation that I'm on the right path." Hey, Najiri, I never got a piece of that cake. What's going on?
I was just going to say, I wouldn't mind a piece of that.
Yeah, that's not fair. You had all that cake to yourself. What's the blue icing mean? Anyway, Katie says, for 8 years, I've been very happy in my career, which is challenging but rewarding as well. I have welcomed challenge and change because my job as a teacher allows me to be creative. However, the last 1 to 2 months, I felt overwhelmed with an increased workload, mostly due to COVID, and unsatisfied, unfulfilled with my job. I do not feel in alignment anymore. Another part of this is change in leadership at my school, and I don't feel empowered or supported anymore. I want to believe things will change as COVID disappears, but I just want to know if I need to make a change now or wait. If now, where and how do I start?
I think this is the Katie, one of the people who took my Unlock Your Intuition course. Okay, well, let's take a look, Katie. Because you know the principle that you create your reality through your energy. So the best way to change something that's showing up in your external environment, believe it or not, is to change your energy. But let's take a look. And the other thing that comes up is, well, of course, you've changed. You took that course, you've been using these techniques, and you've changed already. But let's have a look. I almost want to ask you a question, which is how much you believe in what it is that you're teaching. I do see the idea of work feeling heavy, and I'm wondering if it is solely the workload, or whether it also has something to do with the system itself, the energy of the system itself, the energy of what's being taught. So that's kind of like an interesting question, because like I said, I feel like you've changed and you know yourself more deeply perhaps than you used to. You're more in touch with yourself perhaps than you used to be, and you're more awake and aware and conscious about what feels good to you and what doesn't feel good to you. So one thing I'm seeing for sure is that the work environment at the moment is not matching the vibration that you are. And so it feels unpleasant to you because it's taking you down a notch from your natural set point. So what I would suggest is think of all of the things that you would like, everything that you would like to be experiencing in your job, in your career. You know, I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel supported. I want to be working amongst like-minded people. So make a list of everything that would be in your ideal job. And also the feeling that if you were in your ideal job, how would that feel? And then move yourself into that vibration and hold that vibration. Because in holding that vibration, the external world should shift around you. And you've got to hold it long enough for that to catch up. And Katie, I believe that because you've taken my course, you have lots of energy techniques that you can use to help you manage your vibration. And you even have a manifestation technique that you can use as well that you learned in the course. So rather than tell you a prediction of where and when and how, I would say just identify what it is that you want, move yourself into being the vibration of what you want, and then everything will fall into place from there.
Katie adds something here. She says, I love what I teach and I love my students. I agree, it feels heavy. It's heavy for everyone. We just had a girl attempt suicide on campus last week. I've had this inclination towards counseling or supporting students more socially or emotionally, but I don't know what I can do that will have with having regular classes.
So she said she's considered retraining as a counselor.
Yeah, something
but
like
she
that.
loves to be teaching in the classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's part of the energy. If somebody attempted suicide, I mean, that's the energy felt very serious, and I'm sure that the aftermath of that is still affecting everybody. Well, let's see. Well, I mean, I do see this very powerful teaching energy about you, you know, and I don't remember what it is that you teach or what age of children it is that you teach, but you know, there may be ways that you can find where you are. I mean, for example, I know in the United States that you can train to, there are certain meditations that are allowed in the school system. And if you're a teacher of something, whatever it is, you can actually add on some training and bring meditation into the classroom. So, and I think one of the ones that I know is Mind Up, which I think is the one sponsored by Goldie Hawn, and I want to say David Lynch. So you might look into, how are there ways that I can help and resource the children and empower them and still be fulfilled as a teacher myself? So that would be one suggestion anyway. And I think that takes us to our break. And so
That sure does.
we'll be back. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth, everyone. We're talking about, don't know what to do with my life. Life's problems getting you down. Are you stuck on your path looking for answers? What can you do about it? And
Take Carter's little liver pills.
We've been talking about meditation as a wonderful practice to help with all of that. But we are now in the time in the show where we answer your questions.
And just a quick note, you know, that one of the things that you've got to remember, no matter where you are, that's where you are. So you can, like, a lot of people try to run from a situation, but all that does takes you somewhere else with that situation, and probably is adding another issue on top of it. It's best to stop and just start your meditation, start being aware right here, right now, and that helps. But get out of the future. That future's scary. It's very scary. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So
well,
this is from.
Let me comment on that. Just as each individual creates their individual reality, we create our group experience through our collective energy. So the very best thing that you can do to ensure all of these global challenges turn into something positive is manage your energy in a positive way, is to be in a high vibration, is to envision the world rolling out in wonderful positive ways, because then you are lending your energy to momentum in that direction. The more you worry and let yourself be dragged down and dragged into, whether it's conspiracy theories or whether it's, you know, the doom and gloom and planetary destruction, well, you're actually lending your energy to that. So there's a wonderful First Nations story about two wolves, and I can't remember it exactly, but the question is, which wolf do you want to feed?
Yeah,
and
it's two wolves arguing or fighting. They're fighting consistently within you.
Okay, well, I mean, the way I meant it was that one wolf is the wolf of doom and gloom, and another wolf is the wolf of compassion and love and positivity. So where if you hold your energy vibe in hatred, greed, pain, anger, well, you're feeding that collective potential future. Whereas if you hold your energy in love and acceptance and believing in abundance, then you're adding to that collective energy. So you get to steer your individual ship, and you get to steer the collective ship by your energy.
It's a decision, right, Dr. Lesley? It's a choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is from Nate. Welcome back, Nate. Haven't seen you in a bit. Nate says, question for you. Am I to believe that I am source and that essentially I am the God in my life? Or is it healthier to put my faith in a source outside of myself?
Great question, Nate. Thank you. first thing I think you want to do is make sure that your ego is not grabbing a hold of any of that. But you are source and you are the God of your own life. So what do we mean by that? You're not the totality of God, right? But you are a spark of divine consciousness. You are an aspect of God. You are an aspect of the divine, and you are a co-creator with source energy. And one of your creations is your life and your body. And your body, your energy field is your personal creative universe. And you are the God of that personal creative universe. And everything you need is within you. It's nothing is that you need. There's nothing that you need that's outside of you. Let's see, anything else we can say about this? I think I said it already, but you are an aspect. Okay, you're an aspect of divine source. You're an aspect even of your own higher being. Your own higher being, and this is multidimensional, is eternal, is beyond the limits that you experience when you're in human form. And so, but you are a part of that. And all of the information contained within that is part of your birthright to access as and when you need it. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. So this is from SG. SG says, why do I have a hard time accepting good things? I've been receiving good signs about a friend that I'm not talking to right now. It tells me things will work out and it's hard for me to accept it. Why?
Usually, the origins of something like that is in childhood. And usually we can find some kind of event or events that happened to us when we were very, very young that taught us that to be a truth of our reality. So let's say, I'll make up something up. Let's say as a 3-year-old, it was your birthday was coming up and you were excited about, you know, that you might have a party and you might have wonderful presents. And I don't know, let's make up an extreme example. Let's say everybody forgot your birthday and there was no party and there was no presents. I don't know, and you got made to go to your room for being naughty. And so that experience might have taught you that good things simply don't happen. You know, they simply don't happen. And so, and then we'll take on a belief like that. And because we're believing it, it will reappear in our reality over and over again until it's really firmly cemented. So what I would suggest for you in your belief of good things, I can't accept that good things might happen, is look to your childhood to see where you learned to believe that good things might not happen. And then in the realization of that's where it came from, dissolve, send down your grounding, dissolve, let go of that belief. So it's no longer affecting you. That would be my suggestion.
And a good suggestion it is, Dr. Lesley.
Thank you.
Okay, this is from Shelby. Shelby says, this is Michelle from your classes. I think your classes go more into depth and they have helped me way more than I could ever have imagined.
Thank you so much.
There's a vote of confidence for your classes, Dr. Lesley.
Yes.
By the way, unsolicited, She just sent it in. Um, this is from Margina. Margina says, I have a huge life challenge currently. I gave my ex's dad $16,000 to invest for me. He never gave me any paperwork or documentation regarding my money after I gave it to him. He said he would, but he never did. Today still has my money, but seems like he just keeps running me around in circles as if he has no intentions of returning it. I was only a sophomore in college and his son was my first boyfriend. This has been a huge cloud in my life every single day. I feel so sick about this. I trusted it and I'm not sure what to do now.
How long ago was this, Margina? I'll take a look at your energy while we wait for you to answer that.
About 3 years ago.
This is it's a very hard lesson, isn't it? So, and I don't know whether you'll enjoy the answer that's coming up to tell you, because as a human, we want to fight. We want to fight for our money. We want to fight to make that person be punished, because clearly you've been taken for a ride by this man, right? It's not a legitimate investment that he's done. So what I'm seeing to talk about is that was then and this is now. And this is an abundant universe. And it only is not abundant when we don't believe it is. And so I'm seeing that you can easily replace that $16,000. I'm seeing that you can easily allow abundance to flow into your reality, and that this issue is almost acting as something that's keeping that at bay. So it sounds like a hard thing to say, but moving on from it, at least energetically speaking, right? So reaching for that flow of abundance and allowing yourself to receive abundance. And I mean, huge lesson learned, and maybe in the future you will be able to approach such decisions differently. I wonder what your intuition was telling you at the time when this person offered to do this for you. So let me say it another way. Do you ever watch Abraham Hicks? Abraham Hicks is brilliant for this. So if you've never gone on to YouTube and watched Abraham Hicks, watch a few Abraham Hicks videos, so that you can connect with your vortex. I hope that helps. It might not. It might be too early. That is it. It is. I can see that that's a very difficult and challenging one, and also not to judge yourself. So certainly don't judge yourself. Certainly, use the techniques that we taught earlier in the show so that you can be neutral about this, and use what I was saying to the other person. Move yourself into the vibration of abundance and just allow yourself to receive more.
She wants to know, should she fight to get it back?
So again, this is your choice, right? You could do that. But it's what I would say is look at the energy of those two choices, right? Look at the energy of the fight and the injustice and the teaching someone a lesson and all of that energy poured into that, and versus moving on from it, stepping into a different reality and stepping into the stream of abundance. It's very hard, isn't it, to let somebody get away with something? But those two choices have two very different energies. And so to me, moving on looks brighter. I would never tell anybody what to do. And practically speaking, perhaps there are some authorities that you can report this person to, you know, and have him be investigated. But I think it's also down to what energy you approach this with. Because if you're embittered, you know, and defeated, and in a struggle and in a battle, then that's you know, it goes along with the theme of what we were talking about earlier. What's the main energy vibration that you want to put out? Because that's what will come back. So if you do decide to go after this guy, look at the vibration that you're coming from when you're doing it, is what I would say.
Very true. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Aniel, next question, last question is from Aniel. And she says, hi, and thank you. I just came to California pursuing my work and dreams. I'm happy to be here, but very alone. I'm testing waters here, and I'm wondering where to go to restore and continue. Thank you.
Where to go? So she's looking for suggestions about where to hang out to not be so alone. Not sure I understand the question, but
sounds that way.
Sounds like that's what it is. Well, again, just to go along with one of the themes, the more grounded you are, the more present you are, the more yourself that you are being and you are radiating, then I'm seeing that that's part of the problem. Because I was looking at your energy and I was going, oh, she could be a bit more grounded than she is. And then when I said what I just said, some pain came up. And some sadness. So, okay, and it's hard in the time of a pandemic, isn't it? But where to go? What do you love? What do you love? What excites you? What do you enjoy? Choose things that fill you up and seek those out. Places where you can express your highest joy. And, you know, this is how and where you might meet people who are a vibrational match for you. All right.
Definitely. And that's it for this week, Dr. Lesley. I hope some people, Margarina says thank you with
You're very
3
welcome.
U's. Thank you.
All right.
And,
Well,
see
listeners,
you
you've been
next week.
tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth, and we will be back at 7 p.m. Pacific time next Tuesday evening.
Thank you all. Bye bye now.